Now in this session we are going to learn how to create additional tables in our Microsoft Access database. Typically an Access database or any database out there will have more than one table, and you can have hundreds and thousands of tables depending on how big your database is. For this tutorial you should have access to a link to download the working files. The working file is a zip file here, and what you need to do is you need to double click on it after you have downloaded it, and then you want to click on extract all. Once you extract them all, take note where it's going to extract this stuff. Click on extract here, and then you'll see 3 files in there. So we'll utilize those 3 files to build an Access database, or to basically build 3 additional tables by importing the data from those files. In order for us to get a better understanding of how Microsoft Access works, if we had to enter the data manually, it would take us a very long time. So we're going to build 3 tables. One of them is going to be based on customers, like the contact information for our customers. The next one is listing the contracts for those customers. And then a third table is going to be the invoices. So stay tuned how we do this with the next session here. Keep in mind that this data, 2 of those pieces of data are in Microsoft Excel. So it looks like this. And you can have that data in Microsoft Excel already in a system of some sort. So basically we have the customer, the company, first name, last name, and the information related to the customer. Notice the customer ID here is a unique number. Then the next one, the contract list. Notice you have the contract number, the customer ID, you have the contract amount. It's another Excel spreadsheet. And then you also have this invoices list, and I have this on purpose here as a text file because you can import data from a CSV file or a comma separated values file, and this is what that would look like. So you have the different values here, the invoice, and all the fields are separated by commas. That's why it's CSV, because of the comma separated values. And then notice that each value here, it's in quotes. So we'll learn about how to import this into Microsoft Access database and create 3 tables from these. So in this session we're going to learn how to create tables in an Access database by importing the data from another system. We'll import the actual data and also the design for the tables in one shot from those systems to save us time. You can import the data into an existing table in Microsoft Access as long as the fields, these columns, and also the data type matches from the external file with your current design in Microsoft Access. Since we are starting here, understanding the concepts here and using Microsoft Access, we're going to bring both the design, because I hope you understand how to design the table and the fields and such by what we have covered so far in our tutorial. If you wanted to do this on your own and such, what you'd have to do, basically design a table. If you wanted to bring it into an existing design, you'd have to take, let's say, the customer list, and when you design your table in Microsoft Access, when you go to those fields here in the design view, those fields have to match. So you have customer ID here from your Excel file or external system. It needs to match along with the data type. Then you'd have to have another field in here called company, and you'd have to create that. Then first name, last name, telephone number, street address, all of those have to be in exactly the same order if you're going to use an existing table in Microsoft Access. In our case, we are not going to use the existing table, so we're going to create a new table by importing the data from an external data file. So here's how it works. We go here under external data, and then since we know that our data file was an Excel file, we can go here under Excel, and then we go and locate that file that we extracted earlier from the working files. So we go here under Browse, Go under the working files. And notice we have here customer list. Click on open. And then here we want to import the source data into a new table in our current database. If we wanted to add just the data, then we'll choose the append option here to just simply add it to the existing table. You can also link it to an external table or external data there as well, but that's beyond the scope of this tutorial for now. So we are going to click on import data to create a new table. We click OK here, and then it says show the worksheet. So this is our worksheet. This is what's in that table. Then we click on next, and then this is very important. This is where a lot of users get lost. So we want to choose here the first row contains the headings. So the first row in our Excel spreadsheet had, for example, the field names, customer ID, company, field name, last name. So this is just that label. That's what we are telling the system that that's what that is. Then we click on next. And then here we say you can now specify about each item that you're imported. Select the fields below. And do you want to allow duplicates, yes or no? Now, typically in a database, for example, for the customer ID, we don't want to allow duplicates. So you'd say no duplicates. In our case, we're just bringing this to play with so that we minimize any issues, and we'll just leave it alone. Now, the data type here, it says that it's going to be short text. Typically, you want to make sure that your customer ID, it's actually a number field. So we can change that at this point and say the number, it would be, typically it would be a double here that you choose the data type and such. For the sake of keeping it simple, I'm going to leave this as short text. Then we click on next. Now it says, do you want to choose the primary key? Notice it's trying to create a new one for you. You could create this manually or automatically here. The system will create it for you. Or you can go and say, no, I'll use my own key because I already have the customer ID here. However, keep in mind, it cannot have two records with the same customer ID. So you need to be sure that the data that you're bringing in from an external system to create this new database, it actually does not have any duplicates in it. Then we click on next here. So our name for this table, we'll call it customers. And then simply click on finish. Notice we can save the steps if we want it, but we don't really need to save at this point. We click on close. And now you have another table here, and if you double click on it, you have all of those customers. There are 38 of them that it brought from that table. Notice that the table now it has the field names on the very top here, and it also has the various fields, such as the email field and all that type of thing. If you needed to create additional fields, then you simply can go here under the Home tab, and you could go and add a new field. So if you wanted, for example, a field called comments, it's going to add it, and then you choose the type here. So we're going to make the comments field to be a long text here. And then we close the design. And now if we go back to customers, you'll notice that you have another field called comments. So that's how you create a table by importing the data from an Excel file. Let's create another table, a contracts table. So again, we go here under external data, we go under Excel, and then we choose the file that we want to import. We're actually going to get the contract list. We're going to create a new table along with a structure for that table from your external data file, from our Excel file. And then we click OK, go next here. We tell it that the first row has the actual information. Next, then the contract number. Right now we are choosing to allow duplicates, but typically you don't want to, because this is going to be our primary key, the unique identifier for each record here, and we're going to leave it alone for now. Then we click on next. Then you want to make sure that you're choosing your own primary key and you're making the contract number as the primary key for here. Then we click on next, and then we just say this is going to be called the contracts table. Click on finish, click on close, and now if we close this, we'll have contracts and customers. And notice there are 65 contracts at this point. And then we also have the customers. Now in this next session, we're going to learn how to import data or how to create a table by importing data from a CSV file.